It's a beautiful night on the shores of San Francisco Bay in downtown San Francisco. Fans heading into the ballpark across the Lefty O'Doul Bridge. The Giants and the Diamondbacks about to play ball. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller, along with Mike Krukow. Welcome to Giants baseball. The Giants having taken the series from the Washington Nationals, coming from behind to get the win here yesterday. Now Matt Cain will take the hill and try and get them off on the right foot against an Arizona ball club that clobbered them last week in Arizona. 21 runs they scored in the 2 games as they swept the Giants of that mini-series. And the Giants continue to struggle against teams in their own division. It should be said, however, they are 20-7 from playing any other ball club besides the West.
Yeah, how do you figure that they're 4-12 in the Western Division? If you throw in the 3 losses of the A's, they're 4-15 against the West. Well, it has to change. It has to start tonight. The Giants face 2 division rivalries, the next 2 series here in San Francisco. And the Giants have a great confidence here at AT&T Park, and they're going to try and use it to their advantage against the Diamondbacks and then on Monday a 3-game series with the Rockies. But tonight it's all about Matt Cain getting them on a good start against these D-backs, and they got a little payback to the D-backs, having been swept in Arizona. Let's hope they can do it.
A lot of sluggers in this ball club, as the Giants know all too well. The Diamondbacks, however, have given up more home runs than any team in Major League Baseball, so we'll see. Now, stay tuned. Coming up, NBC Bay Area Sports Director Raj Mathai will be back with the Xfinity pregame show right after this. We'll be back.
Available right now in the Bay Area and coming soon to the Central Valley. Friday night baseball here at China Basin. Good evening, everybody. I'm Raj Mathai. We are kicking off this holiday weekend. Game 1 with the Giants and the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Giants coming off that hard-fought series against the Washington Nationals, and time now for the slumping Arizona Diamondbacks. The downside for the Giants within the National League West, they are struggling, going just 4-12 this season. But here's the upside. The Diamondbacks have struggled here at AT&T Park. They've lost 10 of their last 12 games. A lot of talk about that Giants struggling offense. Yes, much of that is true, but Aubrey Huff and Juan Uribe definitely doing their part. And that brings us to our Xfinity Game Vision. Remember, you can be your own producer or director at home, manipulating and controlling the game video. Huff quietly having a productive season, batting .281, 5 home runs, and 21 RBI. Meanwhile, the versatile Juan Uribe, he's been huge. Versatile on the field and clutch at the plate. A team-leading 6 home runs and 26 RBI. Xfinity Game Vision, the only place you can catch complete replays of every Giants game all season. Just tune to Channel 1. So Matt Cain is going to need the help of Uribe and Huff. He'll also need the help of his second baseman, Freddie Sanchez, who is back and alive and kicking in the Giants lineup. Coming up next, we will check in with Freddie Sanchez as we count down towards the first pitch. Giants and D-backs right here on NBC Bay Area. The Central Valley. Welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Raj Mathai inside the Giants dugout. Mike Krukow and John Miller upstairs in the NBC broadcast booth. So here we go now with the Giants. They are at a crossroads. General Manager Brian Sabean saying just last night that he continues to meet with manager Bruce Bochy regarding Buster Posey and other roster possibilities in regards to Fresno. There are a lot of questions surrounding this team, but there are also a lot of answers, specifically with the Giants second baseman Freddie Sanchez. The questions are, well, can he do it? Can this guy contribute, and can he stay healthy? Well, the answer so far, yes and yes. Probably his best game in his short stay with the Giants came yesterday. Sanchez was everywhere. Got some cleats to the face, has readjusted his jaw, some nice glove work at second base, and then delivered the key hit. The bottom of the seventh, the go-ahead runs, and the Giants comeback win. Freddie Sanchez really seeing the ball well right now. And you get a real sense with this guy that he feels accountable, that he owes the Giants and owes the Giants fans healthy productivity, which of course needs to lead to victories. Here's Sanchez.
As much as it hurts physically, not being able to lift and not being able to get your work in, it's just as hard mentally because, every day you're not out on the field and you see these guys playing, it takes a toll on you, and, not knowing when exactly you're going to be back, it wasn't easy, but, I'm back now, and hopefully I can do what I can to help these guys. This is definitely not how I envisioned, my Giant career going. I mean, obviously, I envisioned me coming over and doing what I've done my whole career.
No, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Yes, he came over from that trade with the Pittsburgh Pirates, been injured for much of that time, but now Freddie Sanchez is doing well. 3 for 9 with 4 RBI against the Washington Nationals. Sanchez hoping that can translate and continue here tonight, beginning with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Everyone trying to get Matt Cain that victory, get him out of that loss column. First pitch and starting lineups coming up next, right here from San Francisco.
Where bags fly free. 62 degrees. The wind's out of the southwest at 8 miles per hour. The humidity 63%. The forecast clear, but getting a little cooler, as you would already have suspected, as the evening goes along. Beautiful night, and it should favor the pitcher early on with the sun shining off the center field scoreboard. And there's the San Francisco half of the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge coming in from Yerba Buena Island, and there is room for you if you want to cross that bridge and head over and join us for the Giants and the Diamondbacks as Matt Cain on this Orange Friday gets ready to head out to the mound and lead the Giants onto the field. Let's take a look at the Arizona batting order that will face Cain. It'll be Kelly Johnson, the slugging second baseman, Connor Jackson out of Cal in left field. Stephen Drew, who's done well against Cain, a couple of home runs in 18 at-bats. He's at short. Justin Upton is in right field hitting cleanup. Adam LaRoche at first base. Mark Reynolds, who hit 44 homers last year, at third. Chris Young in center. John Hester, the former Stanford catcher, bats eighth and catches. And Edwin Jackson is the pitcher, batting ninth.
Defensively for the Giants, they will have Torres, Rowan, and Sherholtz in the outfield. Sherholtz with 4 assists from the outfield. In the infield, they'll have Sandoval and Uribe on the left side. Sanchez and Huff on the right side. Benji Molina will be in the squad, putting down the fingers, and the guy he'll be catching tonight will be Matt Cain, who is trying to break a streak of 3 losses in a row. The last 2 losses, he gave up no earned runs in 8 innings, one unearned run, got a loss. In the previous outing, he gave up 2 runs in 6 innings and got a loss. So they haven't gotten him a lot of support. When he's right, you're going to see a fastball, curveball, slider, changeup combination, and a fastball that'll go low to mid-90s. And a lot of fastballs up from this high 3/4 short arm release. Against the D-backs lifetime, 4-4 with a 3.86 ERA. And there you see the numbers. A very fine 3.05 ERA, and yet still 0-3 in his last 3 starts.
So Kane with Kelly Johnson heading to the plate, ready to start the ball game. The umpiring alignment: Ed Hickox behind the plate, Fielden Culbreth, Marty Foster, and Gary Cederstrom on the bases from first around to third. Benji Molina getting ready to put the mask on and go down into the squat, and we are ready to play. Kelly Johnson, left-handed hitter with lots of power, and a fastball is in there for a called strike. Johnson is hitting .259, but 12 home runs, 25 runs batted in. He's tied for the league lead in home runs. Former Atlanta Brave. In on the hands and yanked foul down the right field line into the crowd, and quickly strike 2 to Kelly Johnson. Connor Jackson is on deck. The sun reflecting off the center field scoreboard and hitter's backdrop right into the eyes of the hitter, with the rest of the field covered in the late afternoon, early evening shadows. There you get a peek, and Mike, that's difficult visibility for a hitter this time of night with that condition.
That's bad. The first three innings, you have to deal with that.
1-2, curveball, and 2-2. This is the view similar to that, but perhaps a little bit different in that we've adjusted our camera lens for the bright background. The hitter's eyes don't necessarily do that, looking at the pitcher in the shadows, the center fielder in the shadows, and then the bright background, and he may well see it much darker than what we're seeing.
Yeah, there's a shine in the batter eye.
And that will go back out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I've not yet seen a hitter come through here in the last 10.5 years that has enjoyed hitting here this time of night just because of the shine on that backdrop. And when they start a game earlier at 6 o'clock, like you'll see tomorrow night, it even gets worse. It means the first 5 innings of the game is going to be affected by that shine on the batter eye.
Change up. Sanchez. 1 away.
Boy, he has been some kind of fantastic with that glove since he's been activated. And we're going to make our Lexus Pursuing Perfection play right out of bed. And the thing that impresses you about Ferdy Sanchez is the range that he has, both to his right and to his left. He's got as much range as anybody in this league. And this is not an easy play. A high backhander gets set up. Our Lexus Pursuing Perfection play. I like it.
Connor Jackson now. And that's an 0-1 count. 92-mile-an-hour fastball in there. Connor Jackson hitting .236. No homers in 106 at-bats. Only 1 hit in his last 10 this week. Wow, look at the movement on that fastball running in under the hand. Strike 2.
Well, just a little subtle thing that he did. The first pitch of the at-bat, a 4-seamer in the outside corner. That he changed up grips, went 2-seam on the inside. And that 2-seam grip will have movement that just sort of falls into a righty away from the lefty. And when he gets it down around the knees, you'll see sink. That looked like a left-handed slider. That thing exploded in.
And a high pop-up in shallow center. Aaron Rowand. Connor Jackson retired. And he came right after him there with that high fastball running in.
He's always had a fastball that gets on hitters quickly. Just because of his release. It's a high 3/4, short arm release. And this really was kind of lazy location. They wanted that thing. Molina wanted the paralysis fastball knee high in the outside corner about a foot. He lifted up. It just shows you how much hop he's got upstairs.
Now Stephen Drew, who's had success in the past against Kane. Strike on the inside corner, knee high. And he has started each of these first 3 hitters with a first pitch strike.
He'll get more low strikes from Ed Hickox than you will high strikes.
That ball is hit deep down the right field line, but foul. Back toward the bricks. And the count is 0-2.
Yep. Bring your glove. Get a souvenir. Applause in your own section.
Really, I mean, adoration.
He's the guy.
Could change your life. Catch a foul ball. 0-2 the count. And a foul back out of play.
He was late.
This friend of mine, Rich Cohen, a well-known writer, novelist, and writer for Vanity Fair magazine, once wrote a column about going to a ball game and equipped to catch a foul ball, hoping to catch a foul ball, and he started fantasizing how it would change his life. And it came out. This led to that, and that led to this, and in his fantasy, he would be forever known as the man who caught the foul ball. He probably would open a restaurant to take advantage of his newfound popularity, have the ball in a glass case at the front lobby. So what happens? He actually catches the foul ball in the game, and he's thrilled. And there's a kid sitting in front of him, about 8 years old, looking at him like, and he handed him the ball and said, "Here, kid." And I thought, well, that now he might run for president with that kind of an attitude. There's a foul out of play, but it is a thrilling moment to catch a foul ball at a big league game. And I would be hard pressed myself to actually give it away. If you had been trying to catch one all those years and you finally caught one, would you hand it away to somebody?
Well, I think twice. But if you have an 8-year-old kid with puppy eyes looking at you, you kind of have to give it to him, don't you? And we always applaud the folks here at the stadium that do hand off to a youngster. It always seems to be to complete the play. Yeah, that guy right there, that's my man right there.
He'd like one. And that slider is fouled into the crowd.
It's become quite a battle. And, you see this when guys see pitchers well. These are the type of at-bats that you get. And you mentioned Drew's had good lifetime success against Kane, and it really shows in this at-bat.
2-2 the count. Kane will try it again. Curveball right to Sanchez. And he wins the duel this time against Stephen Drew. 3 up, 3 down for Matt Kane. Giants are coming up. World famous kind of days here in the city by the bay. Andres Torres will lead off for the Giants in left. Freddie Sanchez, second base. Pablo Sandoval at third base. Sandoval hitting .421 lifetime against the D-backs. Aubrey Huff at first. Juan Uribe at short. Benji Molina catching, hitting sixth. Rowand in center. Sherholtz in right. Kane, the pitcher, all up against the veteran right-hander Edwin Jackson. Hard-throwing right-handed. Now 26 years old. And there is a called strike. So it's 0-1 to Andres Torres. Torres had a broken bat double in that come from behind rally in yesterday's ball game in the seventh inning. Really fueled that rally. They had already scored a run, and that set up the tying and go ahead runs, both being in scoring position, and they both scored moments later on Freddie Sanchez. 2-run single. A little bit high and outside.
Just a bit outside. The numbers for Edwin Jackson. 11th start on the year. ERA inflated 6.28. He's given up 10 home runs of the 70 hits that he's allowed. Good strikeout walk ratio. He's a fastball, curveball, slider, circle change guy, and as John mentioned, he throws hard. He'll go low to mid-90s with the fastball. At times, the fastball can be pretty straight, and that has been what many believe is a big reason as to why he gives up the long ball.
That's a base hit down the left field line. Connor Jackson will have to chase it. Torres with great speed. Jackson gets it back in. Torres will hold it second with a double.
When you talk to big league hitting instructors, they talk to you about staying inside the ball. And that was a beautiful example of that. Watch the knob lead through the swing. The head stay still and just drive the ball the other way. I mean, textbook, that is as perfect a swing as you can employ. You let the ball get deep to you, you go the opposite way. That's the type of swing that gets everybody excited on a bench.
Freddie Sanchez now to try and move him up. And out of play off to the right.
Diamondbacks defensively are going to set it up with Jackson, Young, and Upton. Very good arm in right field with Upton. Drew, Reynolds on the left side of the infield. Johnson, LaRoche. They're the right side defenders. And behind the plate, John Hester. A kid out of Stanford called the signals tonight for Edwin Jackson.
Freddie Sanchez hitting .250 and 28 at bats since coming back from the disabled list. There's that sharp slider. Torres breaks for third, and he'll make it there. Hester just seemed to miss that one.
Boy, that really fries catchers. A breaking ball is really one of the easier pitches to block. And you've got to position your hand right, and I think that's what hurt Hester, who's known as a good ball blocker. But he blocked it like a shortstop, making a backhand ground ball play. And good instinct here by Torres. Gets a great jump and takes an easy 90.
And that's a base hit to left center field. Coming in to score is Andres Torres. And the Giants, just like that, have a 1-0 lead. And suddenly, Freddie Sanchez, who had his best game of the year yesterday, and he keeps right on going here tonight.
Yeah, he's starting to get control of his bat head. A little get it in first pitch slider that when you're seeing the ball well and you're starting to swing the bat well, you don't miss mistakes like that from a pitcher. Jackson trying to get a quick 0-1 on him, and he just made him pay.
1-0 Giants, and here is Pablo Sandoval. .276 average, having a miserable month of May. And that's a strike on the outside. This is only the third time that Edwin Jackson has ever faced the Giants, and the first time in nearly 6 years. He began his career at a very young age with the Dodgers, 2003. And Sandoval reaches for that outside changeup, lofting it foul down the left field line into the crowd, and the count is 0-2. He was very impressive the first time the Giants ever saw him, late September of 03. He had just turned 20 years old, and he shut the Giants out for 6 innings on only 2 hits. Although, a foreshadowing of things to come, he walked 8 in that game, but they could not get the hit against him. In the dirt, Pablo chased a real bad one. Sanchez trying to advance, and it goes into center field. He'll stay right there at second. Now Sandoval is still at the plate, talking to Ed Hickox, claiming that he foul tipped that ball, but he lost that argument.
Really, I don't think he tipped it there, but you talk about a heads-up play. Chris Young, the center fielder for the Diamondbacks, charged this play, and it's the only reason that Freddie Sanchez did not take third base. And you get a chance to see center field. Watch from the top of your screen. Watch Chris Young break in anticipation of what he gets, and that's an overthrow. And for a lot of young outfielders, even if you're in the outfield, every play that is made, you have an assignment. You have a responsibility to be someplace. And you saw it pay off nicely there from Chris Young, who's an excellent defender.
And Young is having a big renaissance season. He had a horrible year last year. It was so bad that in August they sent him back to the minor leagues for a brief time. But he said he learned a few lessons, got it back together, and he's been excellent in just about every phase of the game this year. Aubrey Huff 1 ball and no strikes with a runner in scoring position. A couple of wild pitches charged to Edwin Jackson in this inning. Runner in scoring position. Aubrey Huff only 1 for 12 lifetime against Jackson. And that's off the outside. And those at-bats primarily came when Aubrey Huff was a member of the Baltimore Orioles and Jackson was with the Tampa Bay Rays. Last year, Huff got traded to Detroit, and they were teammates there for a time with the Detroit Tigers. Jackson won 13 games for the Tigers last year. And the changeup off the outside. It's 3-0.
Well, sometimes when you have a difficulty hitting a guy, you get traded to a team that guy's on, and you get to know him as a person. Next time you face him when you're an opponent, it's easier to hit against him.
I mean, is that a true story?
It is a true story.
3-0 the count. And that fastball on the outside for a strike.
Yeah, you guys come over and you find out this guy's the biggest slap dog in the league, and he's getting me out. That'll never happen again.
Well, I suppose if all of a sudden you see him make every single start rather than just your at-bats against him a couple times a year, you learn a few things about him as well. 3-1 the count. Sanchez at second. Ooh, now talk about a low strike. Aubrey Huff can't believe it. 3-2.
Well, we talk about Hickok's low zone, and here's an example of it. And really, I mean, Hester really can't do much to keep this thing at the knees. You can see the way of the ball take it down. Pitcher strike.
3-2. Aubrey Huff hitting .281, 5 homers, 21 batted in. He had 3 hits here yesterday. And the slider in the dirt, so he gets the walk after all. And that'll bring up Juan Uribe with 2 men on. And 1 man out, a run in. The Giants ahead 1-0, and Hester, the catcher, out to speak to Jackson.
The one thing you want to do against this Diamondback team is you want to get in that bullpen. They've had problems there all year long. And the more pitches you get out of a starting pitcher early, the sooner you get to that bullpen.
Juan Uribe, he's the Giants' RBI leader. 6 homers, 27 driven in, a .272 average. And there are some RBIs to be had out there right now. Sanchez at second, Huff at first. And this is a double play ball. There's one, and a double play. Mark Reynolds handled a tough hop, and just like that, the inning is over.
happening down in Fresno at the AAA level, specifically Buster Posey. Oh, he's doing well, batting .343 with 6 home runs, not just catching, but also playing at first base. Brian Sabian saying just last night that he continues to meet with Bruce Bochy regarding Buster Posey. Also went to Fresno earlier this week and watched a couple of games, said obviously he was very impressed. But obviously this is going to be a delicate decision for the Giants when they bring him up and not to rush him. Mike and John, back up to you.
All right, Raj, thanks. And here is Justin Upton. And a foul back to the screen.
When Brian Sabian was down there watching Buster Posey, Posey had a 4-for-4 night. He can hit. He's going to be a really good player. But, you know, in the catching position, it just takes time. And, you know, he just has to get in the squat. He has to catch some professional games. A lot to learn.
There's Sandoval. And Justin Upton is retired. One away.
Well, kick off the summer by coming to the ballpark on Memorial Day, which happens to be Lincecum's next scheduled start versus the Rockies' Ubaldo Jimenez. Monday, May 31st is a 105 start, and it also is Giants T-shirt day. The first 20,000 fans are going to get a Giants SF flag T-shirt courtesy of Vasca. To purchase tickets, visit sfgiants.com. And remember, with dynamic pricing, buy early and save.
Eagerly anticipated matchup there. Ubaldo Jimenez off to a monster start. Curveball for a called strike to the powerful Adam LaRoche. LaRoche hitting .276, 7 home runs, 32 batted in. He's already hit a couple of home runs against the Giants this year. 3 infielders to the right of second. That curve right back to Kane. 2 down.
Now LaRoche is streaky, and when LaRoche is hot, he can carry a club for a couple of weeks. But when he cools down, I mean, he can go into hibernation. Giants saw him last time in Arizona, and he was on fire, but he has cooled down of late.
D-backs in their first 48 games have hit 58 home runs, but they have allowed 82, more than any other team in either league. Mark Reynolds, who hit 44 home runs last year and has 12 homers, 39 batted in already this year. Despite a .232 average, he's struck out more often than any other hitter in the majors. He's tied with his teammate Kelly Johnson for the league lead in home runs, and he is second in the league in RBIs. So despite the strikeouts, despite the low batting average, he's been a big run producer. 2 down, nobody on. And a high fly ball into the big gap in right center. Way back there. Into the archway. The carom played by Rowand, and that one just seemed to take off and really seemed to fool Nate Scherholtz, who had a hard time believing the ball was ever going to carry as far as it did.
Well, he took on the chain link out there. You don't see many balls hit by right-handers to this part of the yard. You can see Scherholtz never really comfortable on this thing at all. He just did not get back to the fence in time. Didn't miss it by much. If anybody is ever going to, if any right-handed hitter is ever going to hit it in McCovey Cove, Reynolds has as good a chance as anybody.
Well, that's the first hit for the D-backs in this game. 10th double of the year for Reynolds. Here is Chris Young. We mentioned his revitalized season. He's hitting .291, 7 homers, and 37 runs batted in. So he also is among the league leaders in RBIs. He's 4th in the league in runs batted in.
Well, I think a lot of the offense that has happened early on in Arizona has a lot to do with the environment there. I don't think they've gotten their humidity yet down in the desert. When we were there, the ball was just jumping. It felt like spring training. But once they get the monsoons in and the humidity comes in, it's a little bit harder to hit a home run there. I mean, it's always going to be a live yard. It's a great place to hit because you see the ball so well, but I don't think it's going to be as lively as it has been the first 2 months the whole year.
Hit very softly. Young has lots of speed. Sanchez in a hurry. Got him by a step. Looks like a squid kick. Benji Molina coming up. in 3D.
How
but
was it?
Not on TV. I saw it at the movie theater.
Was it good?
It was incredible.
I saw it, but I didn't see it in 3D.
Edwin Jackson versus Benji Molina, and ball one. Benji is fallen upon hard times. Only 2 for his last 26. He has not had an RBI in 23 days. A fly ball foul off the right field line. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Benji is a guy being counted on to be an RBI man for the Giants, as he's been for the last 3 years. And so far, only 10 runs batted in. Mark Reynolds has all the time in the world, and there is 1 away.
Well, for comprehensive coverage of everything orange and black, you can check out pregame live and postgame live before and after every Giants telecast on Comcast Sportsnet, authentic Bay Area sports.
Giants ahead 1-0 here in the second. Aaron Rowan comes up. Rowan, 236 average, 5 homers, 18 batted in. He'd been slumping. And he had a single and a double here on Wednesday night against Washington. But hitless yesterday, hitting only .204 in the month of May. Right center field to the big part of the yard. Upton. So Rowan is gone on 1 pitch. So 2 down, and Nate Scherholtz will come up. Giants, and for Rowan, that month of May includes the road trip to Florida and New York, where he drove in 11 runs in 6 games. So most of the poor month of May for him has happened since then. 2 down, Nate Scherholtz, the hitter. 1-1 from Edwin Jackson, a fastball at 96 miles an hour.
Oh, he's got a good fastball. I mean, he can go from there.
And that's too low again at 96. Scherholtz came in as a pinch hitter yesterday in the 7th inning. He got a crucial RBI single that started the rally that put them ahead for the win. And he did it after falling quickly behind in the count against a tough lefty at 0-2.
Yeah, Sean Burnett jumped out, got 2 pitches, slider curveball combination, and I mean he abused him to get to 0-2. And you're thinking, uh-oh, this is not good. The count ran 1-2, threw him another breaking ball, and he went right back up the middle with it. It was a great at bat. But he hits lefties well.
In the dirt with a slider. 2-2 the count.
And the reason he does, I mean, he's got a flat swing, and he is a middle away guy. And breaking balls from left-handers, they go middle away. And that really feeds his sweet spot.
Two and 2 with 2 down. The pitcher, Matt Cain, would be next. 1-0 Giants here in the second. 3-2 count now. Edwin Jackson, who was drawing comparisons to no less than Bob Gibson, the way he burst upon the scene in 2003 at 20 years of age. There is Stephen Drew, and he got him. The inning is over. We head to the 3rd inning now. 1-0 Giants.
Hello to Matt Williams, the longtime Giant. Spent 10 seasons here in San Francisco and then headed over to the Arizona Diamondbacks in the front office as a player and now as their first base coach. Good to see Matt Williams back in town. Gentlemen?
Yeah, he's done just about everything. I mean, he's been a broadcaster, a coach, and he has made no bones about it. He wants to manage someday.
How was he as a broadcaster?
He was good. I heard him do some radio games with the voice of the D-backs, Greg Schulte, and he was fantastic. I mean, he's always had the ability to speak. Matt Williams, one of those guys in the clubhouse who was always could mimic everybody on the team. He could imitate the way you talked, the way you took your at-bat, the way your pitching motion was. Very articulate guy and funny, but really knows the game. I think he'd make an excellent manager. He's got all the qualities. Plus, if you crossed him, he could back it up.
Curveball too low to John Hester. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The guy who was just here with Washington, the young third baseman, Ryan Zimmerman. The way he threw the ball sometimes reminded me of Matt Williams.
Good call. He threw it exactly the type of the elastic release.
And just always right there. Strike 3 call.
Look back to 1989 against the Cubs, and Matt Williams, a big part of that National League Championship team. That was as loud a crowd as I've ever heard that night. And when he would hit them, they would be majestic.
And there's ball 1 from Matt Cain to Edwin Jackson. Well, Matt Williams, who ultimately requested from the Cleveland Indians, the team the Giants had traded him to, that they trade him, and not just trade him, but trade him to the Arizona Diamondbacks, the new team in the desert, expansion team, because his family situation, there'd been a divorce, and he just felt that it was imperative that he be close to his children. And the Cleveland Indians hierarchy thought so much of Matt Williams, not just as a ball player, but as a human being, that they said absolutely. And they took great pains to make sure that it was done. Very, very remarkable, and it's not something you see.
No, it's so rare that I can't even remember the last time it ever happened, if indeed it did ever happen. But he's that kind of guy.
He had done real well for Cleveland. That is strike 3 called. Sharp breaking ball at the knees from Matt Cain.
Nice, tight, quick little curveball. And again, we're talking about Hickok's low strike zone. Another example of it. Grab some pine meat. Well, tomorrow's Cap Night here at the Yard. First 20,000 fans are going to get a Giants cap courtesy of Catholic Healthcare West. And you can get tickets. Go to sfgiants.com. Remember, dynamic pricing. Buy early and save.
Curveball. 1 ball and no strikes to Kelly Johnson. He started to go after it, then restrained himself. Johnson grounded out to second his first time. Hit the ball hard. It was turned into a nice play by Freddie Sanchez. 1-0 Giants. Left field, back Torres, and there. Last of the third, Cain is coming up. Then the top of the order, 1-0 Giants. Rucco, your Giants telecasters. And Edwin Jackson throws ball one. A fastball to Matt Cain. Cain, 1 hit, 14 at bats.
He's in a slump.
Bruce Bochy said he's surprised. He feels like the Giants staff as a group can hit. But he said none of the pitchers are really hitting right now. And he thinks Cain is the best of the hitters. He fully expects Cain to have 2-3 home runs every year.
Well, I would agree with that. I think he has the most power. I think he and Lincecum are the best hitters, except for Guillermo Mota. He can hit.
Well, Mota, didn't he start out as a catcher or a position player?
You could pinch hit him and he would not embarrass himself.
3-1 the count to Matt Cain. Well, if Cain's going to get a fat pitch, I guess this would be the time. 3-1. You got the low strike, 3-2. Hey, as soon as Matt Cain finishes his at bat, we have a special announcement to make here. And Cain finishes up with a walk, so he's aboard to start the inning with Andres Torres coming up. Apparently, we have it on good authority because somebody made a beautiful cake, very tasty cake, commemorating your 20th anniversary as a Giants broadcaster. So happy anniversary.
That was, I didn't even know it was coming up. 20 years. Amazing. But
so 1990, May 28th. And if it was not exactly the 28th, I'm going with close enough since we have the cake right now.
We are going to have a piece here between innings. But to Candy and all the crew over at the Whole Foods Bakery here in downtown San Francisco, thank you very much.
So 20 years, 1990, you began broadcasting Giants baseball, but only select games at that time.
Well, I did 15 games my first year with Dwayne Kuiper. And I thought that was the funnest thing I ever did.
1 ball, 1 strike now to Torres, who doubled his first time.
Right now we're going to check out our Bevmo Who's Hot. Giants deals on the best selection of wine, beer, and spirits. Save Mo at Bevmo, the highest luggage percentage for the Giants since 2009. With Pablo Sandoval, 522. Andres Torres right behind him. And Uribe at 481.
Medium left center, shallow left center. Young, and there is one away with Cain back to first. Tune in to the NBC Bay Area Morning News team for early news, traffic, and weather updates. That's weekdays, Monday through Friday, starting at 4:30 a.m. I understand they want you to come into the studio, maybe Monday or Tuesday morning, to celebrate your anniversary with them live on the air during that morning news.
At 4:30 a.m. I am all over that.
They'll have a cake for you.
Oh, my word.
0-1 to Freddie Sanchez.
I applaud the morning news team.
That's into left center field. That's into the gap. Young racing over. Cain did not get a read on it, so he held up. Sanchez digging for second. He's got a double. Cain into third.
Stay hot, Freddie Sanchez. The Giants have been waiting for a veteran bat to really wake up, and it's starting to happen. Sanchez a 2-hit day yesterday, and here a second hit tonight. And you can tell just by the bat action that he's really starting to gain command of his bat head. And watch Matt Cain as he reads this fly ball. You can't assume anything with Chris Young out in the outfield because he has such great range. You cannot gamble a lead base because he'll make you look foolish.
Well, Young ended up doing a great job just getting over to cut it off in the alleyway. So the Giants have runners at second and third. The infield backed up for Sandoval. That ball is hit well to left field. Connor Jackson on the warning track. Cain tags up and he'll score easily. Sacrifice fly for Pablo. 2-0 Giants.
Oh, listen to that applause. Giants fans do not take their sacrifice flies lightly. Good at bat.
Sandoval's 17th RBI of the year, his second sacrifice fly. 2-0 Giants. And now Aubrey Huff to try and get Sanchez home from second. That run set up by Sanchez, double. So Freddie, he's almost like just everything started to click in for him yesterday. Changeup for a strike. Huff walked his first time. Aubrey Huff trying to get his 22nd RBI of the year. One ball, one strike. Huff against Edwin Jackson. A couple of former American leaguers. Ooh, good slider in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So you were doing 20 years ago today, you worked the color commentary, the analysis. Dwayne Kuiper was the play-by-play man on, what was it, a cable telecast or over-the-air telecast?
Giants Vision.
Giants Vision.
And we were in Atlanta. Kuiper took me out to lunch. He goes, okay, let's go. We're going to buy you pencils. And I said, for what? He says, don't worry, just get the pencils and I'll tell you what they're for. So we go up there and he gets me pencils, and there's whiteout, and there's tape, and there's yellow pencils, and it is unbelievable. I said, okay. We get the ballpark, and he gave me one of his score sheets. He goes, now you're going to learn how to keep score. I said, I don't need this. He goes, yes, you do. And that's how it started.
So that's the first time you must have kept score when you were a kid.
Oh, absolutely, I did.
Ooh. Some fine pitches made there by Edwin Jackson, and Sanchez stranded at second. 2-0 Giants.
History, a lot of things happening. May 28, 1951. How about this? Willie Mays' first hit. It's a home run, of course, off another legend, Warren Spahn. May 28, 1998, Barry Bonds, that classic scene when he was intentionally walked, and also Bonds on the state in 2006, home run number 715, passing Babe Ruth. And John, while we're at it, how about Mike Kruko's telecast, right? May 28th. What was it, 1990? At least that's what the Whole Foods cake said, right?
Yeah, 1990s.
That's our story, and we're sticking with it.
It was a good year.
Here is Connor Jackson, the number 2 hitter in the order, to lead off for Arizona. Stephen Drew and Justin Upton to follow against Matt Cain. Jackson hit a fly ball to shallow center his first time. And a slider in there for a strike. It was 12 years ago today that one of the more remarkable moments in a game in a long, long time in Major League Baseball occurred when Buck Showalter ordered Greg Olson to walk Barry Bonds intentionally with the bases loaded. In the bottom of the ninth inning, the Giants were down by 2 runs. The Diamondbacks were a first-year expansion team on their way to, 95, 97 losses, whatever it was. And he said, well, that'll make it a 1-run game, and it put the possible winning run into scoring position for Brent Mayne, but he had him do it anyway. And let's go back 12 years ago today at Candlestick Park. Yeah, I know it sounds like I'm kidding, but I want you to walk him. That made it 8-7, and Brent Mayne said he never wanted to hit more badly as Jeff Kent scored than he wanted right here. And he hit it hard. I don't know what kind of action on it, but it gave the right fielder a little bit of trouble.
That was not an easy play. Maynard hit a rocket to right field.
This is Uribe taking charge, calling offside the ball, and Stephen Drew is promptly retired.
Well, I'll never forget that night when Showalter did walk Bonds, and I saw Mayne on deck the whole time. With each ball that was being thrown in the intentional walk, I was watching Brent Mayne, and you could tell he was grinding. And I never hoped for a guy to get a base hit so much in my life than for him to have a hit in that AB. He gave it a ride, but it wasn't to be. And Showalter wound up looking like a genius on it. And he was Showalter's a good man. I think it's a good move. The way Bonds was swinging the bat back then.
The next day, in his first at bat, Barry Bonds came to the plate, home run, back in 1998. The previous time that a manager had ordered an intentional walk with the bases loaded was back in the 40s. And it also involved the Giants, but this time it was the Giants manager, Hall of Famer Mel Ott, who ordered his team to walk a home run hitter by the name of Swish Nicholson.
Oh, yeah.
Second game of a doubleheader. He'd already hit 3 or 4 home runs in the doubleheader. But the difference was, because Showalter's walk of Bonds moved the possible winning run into scoring position for Brent Mayne. Just a single could have won the game for the Giants. Mel Ott had Swish Nicholson walked intentionally. He was ahead 10-4 or something in the 6th or 7th inning, and just said, well, this guy's homering every time up. I'll give away 1 run instead of 4 here. And so that's what they did. But that had been in the 40s, and then it was more than 50 years later before it happened again, and it has not happened again. I take it back. I believe it was Joe Maton, the manager of the Tampa Bay Rays, who ordered one either last year or the year before.
Who do you walk?
I don't know, but it must have been somebody pretty good.
He wasn't batting 8th.
That is the inning. Matt Cain, a very powerful inning, striking out Upton. He's allowed only 1 hit. Uribe coming up. Aaron Rowan to follow. And right to Reynolds at third. So that's 2 trips to the plate for Uribe, and both times he's hit the first pitch right to Mark Reynolds.
Well, Giants baseball is brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of the thirst inning. Budweiser, it's what we do. I like the thirst inning. It is date night here tonight. Friday night, Orange Fridays.
I had a date myself last night.
Really? How'd you do?
I saw what Dave Fleming likes to call a date movie.
Really?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Benji Molina, and he takes a called strike. I think it was called Letters to Juliet.
Good.
Yeah. Take your special someone to go see it.
Did you cry?
No. No, I had the full box of popcorn. I was never any danger of crying as long as I had as long as the popcorn was holding up.
Popcorn. Great equalizer.
1 ball, 1 strike. And 1-2 to Molina, who grounded out to third his first time. It's that time of evening here at AT&T Park on a clear night where the setting sun is reflecting off the picture windows over in the Oakland and Berkeley Hills. Out beyond left field from where we sit. Sort of a trademark of a beautiful night in San Francisco.
All the reflections look like bonfires up there in the hills. It really is one of the more beautiful evenings we've had all year long.
Well, the rain left us yesterday, and it's been bright and clear and spectacular ever since.
Was it pretty out at the beach today?
Oh. Being out in Half Moon Bay in that area today was... You walk out the door and it looked like you were in Maui. Three and 2 to Benji Molina. Giants ahead 2-0 here in the 4th inning. And so it goes for Benji right now. Hard times, 2 for his last 28.
Just a straight fastball right there in the outside corner at the knees. You see him reach through it. And that really is a strikeout to his strength. That knee-high location on the outside corner, that is his happy zone. When you swing through a good area for your swing, it really makes you talk to yourself.
Aaron Rowan, and he takes one right down the middle for a called strike. Maybe an alternative vision of what you're talking about right there. You take one right down the middle, and then you swing at the breaking ball in the dirt.
Well, when you're in a slump, that's what you do. You think wrong. I mean, he may have been up there looking for a breaking ball first pitch, may have been looking at a different location. He definitely wasn't looking for what he got.
And that may have been his pitch to hit in this particular at bat. He's behind 0-2 now. 2 down, nobody on. And the Giants are down in order. San Francisco on the Bay and also on the Pacific. What a night.
in one of the special Irish heritage sections of the park. Get there early for a pregame Irish party in Lot D. All special event ticket holders will receive a limited edition Irish-themed Giants t-shirt. For tickets or more information, call 415-972-2298 or you go to sfgiants.com/special events.
Matt Cain goes to work here in the 5th inning with a 2-0 lead. Adam LaRoche hit a comebacker his first time. 1 ball and no strikes to count. And ball 2, 2-0. LaRoche, very powerful left-handed hitter. Hit a couple of home runs against the Giants last week. Giants negotiated with him in the offseason as a free agent. That changeup popped up foul and back out of play.
He's got a lot of hand speed like Will Clark. Similar action. Very relaxed approach. He barely grips the bat. His grip on the bat is so light. It's a wonder that bat doesn't fly to his hands more often. Just lays it in there.
Oh man, where was that pitch?
That's a pitch he missed. That's a good pitch.
Just out missed it. Played umpire Ed Hickox. That ball right in there.
Yeah, he'll miss more curveballs than he will fastballs. And this is something we noticed in his last appearance as a plate umpire. Saw him a couple weeks ago. We know he was pretty steady down around the knees, and he would give a lower strike than you normally would see. But at times the curveball he would give up on it. And we saw this especially in 2-strike situations where curveballs were thrown, which could have been called strike threes, and he didn't ring them up.
First time that Matt Cain has gone to a 3-ball count on any hitter. 3 infielders to the right of second. And he comes back and strikes him out on a foul tip. Blew a fastball right by him.
This is not the same Arizona Diamondback team that the Giants saw in Arizona. Totally different. And it has to do 100% with the surroundings, the ballpark, being out of a hitter's environment in Arizona and being in more of a pitcher-friendly ballpark, AT&T.
And the D-backs at Chase Field in Phoenix have a team batting average of .274. On the road, .249. That one yanked foul by Mark Reynolds, who hit a slider out into the big part of the yard in deep right center for a double his first time. Right into the number 7 archway out there. And this time he got a slider and yanked it foul.
Pretty good play from our ball dude, David Schwartz, down there. He stopped it. Can't say he actually caught it, but he stopped it.
Ooh. Schwartz hit by Schwartz. David Short winced down there in the left field ball dude area as Mark Reynolds got a hit. I was going to say that David Schwartz, when he got that ball, looked like he had good vision on it. And there's Reynolds. Reynolds just never got out of the way of that ball. Never moved.
He dives in there. But you always wince when you see a guy expose himself in his chest like that. But you do that when a guy throws hard. I mean, you have to commit yourself. You got to get it started. You got to jump on out there. And these guys are fearless. They know that they're going to get hit at various times. They don't care. If you're afraid of getting hit, this is not the place to play.
Reynolds seems to be okay. 3rd time this year he's been hit by a pitch. 2nd base runner of the game for the D-backs, and the batter is Chris Young. He grounded out to second his first time. Left center field, but playable for Torres. Reynolds tags and starts towards second, but he goes back. That ball got by Sanchez at second base, too.
Nice play by Torres. I think you have to anticipate that runner at first base is going to go to second every time. Don't take it for granted. He's not going to advance.
And Mark Reynolds, he's a slugger and a big guy, but he runs well. So 2 down, and here is John Hester. Giants 2, Arizona nothing in the 5th inning. 2 down. Hester struck out looking his first time. Cain has 4 strikeouts total. Back to the bag is Mark Reynolds. Giants got a single run in the 1st inning. Torres hit a double. Sanchez singled him home. Matt Cain himself scored the second run. That was in the third inning. Led off the inning with a walk. Ultimately, Sandoval got him in with a fly ball. Apparently just off the outside.
Well, you know what frustrates a pitcher is when you throw a pitch, you get a call to strike earlier in the game, which this has been called a strike. Then you throw it again and you don't get it.
Bruce Bochy flashing some signs to catcher Benji Molina. And that must have been one of the signs. Is move that runner back to first.
Well, Bruce Bochy will call the throw over. He'll call the pitch out. He'll call the step off where a guy doesn't even throw over. He just steps off the rubber.
One and 0 to John Hester. Uribe charges this one. The snap throw got him. 5 shutout innings for Kane. Sherholtz coming up. Good field and in progress in Anaheim. 5-2 Mariners, top of the 5th inning. The National League, the Cardinals' first meeting with the Cubs this year, and Chris Carpenter got another win. 7-1 Cardinals at Wrigley. The Reds pounded the Astros 15-6. Phillies ended a 5-game losing streak and finally scored again. They won 3-2 in Florida. It's raining in Atlanta. 7-3 Braves, top of the 9th inning though. The Brewers, a walk-off homer by Corey Hart, lasted the 9th inning, beat the Mets, ended their winning streak. What a game that was in Milwaukee. Johan Santana with the red-hot Mets pitched 8 shutout innings and did not get a win. Giovanni Gallardo went 9 innings of scoreless ball, and Corey Hart hit the home run in the bottom of the 9th to make him a winner. That's how the Mets winning streak came to an end. Slider from Jackson up and away to Nate Sherholtz. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sherholtz grounded out to short his first time. Matt Cain on deck. The high fastball into the second deck. 1-2 to Sherholtz. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Giants. No runs, 1 hit for Arizona. The wind is blowing straight out right now here at AT&T Park. In the dirt, but he can run. And he will run and make it easily. The catcher, Hester, didn't even know where the ball had gone. Jackson came charging down off the mound, fully intending to go after it if Hester never found it. So Sherholtz strikes out on a wild pitch.
Curveball down the dirt. Better hand and glove positioning for Hester on this one, but this is not much you can do.
if it bounces high, it comes off your arms, you're really at the mercy of the bounce. And with Sherholt's speed, no chance. So the Giants catch a break and a leadoff runner on a strikeout. Thank you very nice.
5th strikeout for Jackson, but also his 3rd wild pitch. Now Kane to try and move him up. And that was hit a little too hard, and it is not a double play. Well, Kane had the right idea, trying to make the first baseman field it, but he hit it too hard to him. So Sherholtz is out at second.
And Adam Roach is a good fielding first baseman, and he likes to throw. And if Kane doesn't have the speed he does, I mean, it's a double play. And really, they could have called the double play. It was bang, bang. Giants catch a break there.
So they get the lead runner from the first baseman to the shortstop, covering 3-6. Kane safe at first. Now, Andres Torres, who has hit a double and scored a run and has flied out to left center. Changeup, a strike.
By the way, that Mets-Brewers game, that pitching duel, 2 hours and 27 minutes long. And they don't have many games like that in Milwaukee. That's a place where you expect offense, not pitching duels.
And LaRoche has this one to second and back to first. Torres too quick, and Jackson could not handle the ball anyway. So Matt Cain is forced out at second base.
Now this sets up what I think is going to be a steal situation for Andres Torres. But again, another example of LaRoche on the run. Nice chest-high strike to Stephen Drew. And I think that's the toughest double play to make, because you always have a pitcher who's not accustomed to taking that throw, and it's always seems to be an off-balance throw. The throw wasn't anything that shouldn't have been caught, but you don't see that thing turn very often. 3-6-1.
Well, they're certainly aware that Sanchez would like to steal second base here, or rather Torres with Sanchez at the plate. Sanchez swinging a hot bat, singled home Torres in the first inning, and he doubled in the third. He's 2 for 2 in this game and has not been retired in either of the last 2 games. Torres runs. Hester's throw. It's a steal. Not even a tag attempt.
Well, this is really, everything was going against the Diamondbacks here. A slow unload time for Edwin Jackson, and really not a good throwdown for John Hester to second base. And you put those two things together, it's going to be an easy steal for Andres Torres. So he puts himself in score position. Nice play.
And Freddie Sanchez, a chance for another RBI here. He knocked in Torres when he had the chance in the first inning. Had a couple of RBIs yesterday. And the high slider misses for a ball.
I was talking about some of the things that the manager can give a signal to the catcher to be relayed to the pitcher to have him do. And one of those things is the slide step delivery out of the stretch. And usually when you have a base stealing situation, leadoff hitter on with 2 outs, it's almost always a time where you're going to see that leadoff hitter try and steal. That should be automatic. Every pitch out of the stretch should be slide step.
A fastball for a strike, and it's 2-1 now to Sanchez.
But Jackson, when he does the high leg kick out of the stretch, he's 1.45. That's way slow. 1.25 is average. So 1.45 seconds from the time he starts his motion to the time it hits the catcher's glove with a bat. That's when you stop the stopwatch. 1.45, extremely slow. And he was that way with Torres at first. And I think this is an example of a guy that is thinking about other things. I mean, that to me should be an obvious, where you understand that runner's in a go situation. You have to pitch accordingly. You have to pitch in a compact motion.
It's almost as if, why is there a sign for that? The pitcher, that should go without saying.
Well, that's the point that a lot of the old coaches around here make, a lot of the old scouts make, because a lot of guys coming out of the college ranks really have not been allowed to think for themselves. They've been programmed, and that is something that should be common sense when you get to the big league level. But a lot of guys who are always relied on being told what to do, they don't think in that regard, and it hurts them.
And ball 4 to Sanchez. I remember when Ben McDonald came out of LSU, and he was one of the most highly touted young pitchers ever seen. He was that year's Steven Strasburg, and he came to Memorial Stadium after they finally signed him after a long, protracted negotiation. Scott Boras was his agent, and they took him out to the bullpen, and he warmed up. And Frank Robinson was with the Orioles at that time, and he was out there. And McDonald got all warm, and then McDonald said, "I'm going to throw a curve now." And Frank Robinson says, "We know when you're going to throw a curve." He says, "How do you know that?" He says, "We've known for months. You give it away." And first Ben McDonald had heard about it. Something the way he reached into his glove or whatever. So already he'd been in the big leagues for about 3 minutes and had learned something new. And a slider off the outside to Sandoval. 1 ball and no strike. It's almost counterintuitive, this thing about the college coaches. They call every pitch. The catcher himself is not allowed to call the game. It's college. It's college. You're supposed to be learning how to live. You're supposed to be learning a few things. Sandoval fouls one out of play. Plus, they're playing ball. That's supposed to be fun.
Go to college, get some knowledge, learn something to do. If they can make penicillin out of old moldy bread, they can sure make something out of you. Now, Muhammad Ali said that, and I think it applies.
1-1 to Pablo Sandoval. Sandoval knocked in a run with a fly ball back in the 3rd. Need a hit right now. Torres at second, Sanchez at first. And they get the hit. Charged by Upton. He's got a strong arm. Torres heading home. Here comes a throw. Not in time. And both runners advanced an extra base. Sanchez to third. Sandoval over to second. 3-0 Giants. Second RBI of the game for Pablo Sandoval.
Yeah, that's the benefit of having speed on the base pass and a 2-out situation. You know that runner's going on contact. He doesn't even have to look to see if it's going to get caught or if it's going to get through the infield. And with the speed of Andres Torres, despite a cannon in right field with Justin Upton, he was able to score. Upton, a 5'2" guy, and you can see a one-hop seed. Really no match for a good jump and great speed from Torres. And the RBI bat for Pablo Sandoval starting to heat up.
Three-0 Giants, and runners at second and third. This is a big spot. Base hit can make this a 5-run game. Aubrey Huff has walked and struck out. 1 ball, no strikes. Change up, drifting down and away. You got a right-handed hitter who's only seen 2 pitches tonight and hit them both on the ground to third. On deck, first base is open. And it's 2-0. 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
It's rare when Aubrey Huff will help a pitcher, when he'll go out of the strike zone and chase.
Huff has walked 20 times this year. 281 batting average at game time, but a 361 on base percentage. And he leads the club in walks. 3-0. So it appears as though the intent all along was to pitch around him, with the right-handed hitter coming up next. Uribe on deck.
He had a 3-0 count in Arizona that he got the green light on and cashed in on a double with the bases loaded.
Took a big cut at that one on 3-0.
However, in the series against Washington, he also had a situation where he's leading off and he had a 3-0. And he swung at it and rolled it over, ground out to first base. And Bruce Bochy had a word with him saying, there's times when you can do the 3-0 and there's times when you can't do the 3-0. A leadoff situation is not the time. This is the time. And you just saw him take a hack. And I like that aggressiveness.
Sanchez at third, Sandoval at second, both in scoring position. And it's a walk. Well, I suppose it's not a coincidence. He saw him take the big rip on that fastball out over the plate, and the next one was in the dirt.
Yeah, that's going to bring out Mel Stottlemyre Jr. Try and calm Jackson down. You get into a long inning now, it's almost automatic. You see a pitching coach come out, just give the guy a breather.
Edwin Jackson, who can be wild, earlier this year in April Cardinals were in Arizona. Chris Carpenter was at the plate. He got hit by the pitch, and he was very unhappy about it.
To read his lips, I wasn't trying to hit you.
And Carpenter, later on a double play ball, actually veered out of the baseline. And both benches empty. Albert Pujols is right in the middle of it. Carpenter later said, I just lost my mind. I'm going after the second baseman. I'm upset. I still have the seams on near my elbow from the ball, and he apologized for it. He said he had no business. He said second baseman had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, but losing your mind is part of the game. I think it's healthy.
Oh, and on to Uribe. Wow. So Uribe, who did not seem to be seeing the ball well, out of the hand of Edwin Jackson. 3 men on. Sanchez at third. Sandoval at second. Huff at first. An inning that began when Nate Sherholtz struck out but reached first base. That, by extension, became a run. 3-0 Giants. This time Uribe lays off. That's the first pitch that he has laid off against Jackson tonight. He's hit 2 ground balls to third in his first 2 at-bats. He is the Giants' RBI leader. You got 3 men on here with 2 men out. In the dirt again. 2-2.
Well, in the dirt by design. And he knows that Uribe is a guy who's aggressive with men on. He knows he'll chase below. And both those 0-2-1-2 pitches were in the dirt, throwing perfectly by design. And from Uribe's perspective, pretty good takes.
All 3 runners ready to run at the crack of the bat here with 2 down. 2-2 the count. And the high slider. Foul tipped into the glove. Strike 3. The Giants leave them loaded. Pablo Sandoval knocking in a run. We go to the 6th. It's 3-0.
In this month of May, he's continued to keep up his high energy and enthusiasm. Wednesday morning, heading over to the Mission Education Center here in the city, talking to about 140 kids. And the story goes, he tried to get out of there. A bunch of kindergartners grabbed around his legs and wouldn't let him leave. Sandoval ended up staying about 90 minutes, but it's been pretty impressive. During this slump, he still has that energy even in the dugout. And John and Mike, it's cool to see that he has that confidence that, you know what, he's going to snap out of it. And so far tonight, doing pretty good.
Well, I think he's been out of that slump for about 10 days now with the bat speed that he's had. And we really saw it when he was in Arizona, where he started to drive the ball. And the sound of his bat was a lot louder than it had been the previous 3 weeks. But I think he'll be glad when the month of May is over. But in regards to him and the community work that he does, this is as good of a people person as I've ever seen. He lights up in a room of people, and he's going to touch base with everybody there.
2-2 to Edwin Jackson. In the springtime, he was at one of those functions. People come down for the weekend, see a couple of games, and they have a big outdoor picnic dinner after a day game. And Pablo was one of the players who came out for that. And that is strike 3. Matt Cain with his 5th strikeout of the night. One away, and leadoff man Kelly Johnson will come up. 3-0. The Giants ahead. And a man who had his 7-year-old son with him walked up to Pablo. And Pablo was ready to sign something. He said, well, he didn't really want you to sign anything. He just wants to play catch with you for a moment. And Pablo didn't understand what he was saying at first. He says, well, he just wants to throw the ball and have you catch it and throw it back to him. You only have to do it one time. And Pablo said, oh, okay. The kid went out and started playing catch with Pablo. And Pablo, he was into it. And they played catch for 2 or 3 minutes. And finally the father had to step in and say, boys, that's fine. We have to go get in the buffet line now. But many thanks, Pablo. Change up too low. 2 balls and a strike. But I'd never really seen anything like that at a function. People want people to sign something, pose for a photo. First time he just wanted him to play catch with his son for a moment. And Pablo, he was born to play catch.
Well, that's 3 changeups in a row. And we talked about Stephen Drew and Kelly Johnson, guys that have seen Matt Cain well. And Cain going at Johnson with 3 changeups in a row. I don't remember the last time he's ever done that.
Two and 2. Johnson 0 for 2 in the game. Fastball. And there is Torres in left center.
Well, it'll definitely make the fastball look a lot better when it follows 3 changeups. And it winds up being a lazy fly ball, and he gets a tough hitter out. Well, this Sunday is Skateboard Deck Day. It's the first time the Giants have ever given away this promo item. The first 7,500 kids 14 and younger are going to get a Giants skateboard deck courtesy of Full Throttle. To purchase tickets, go to sfgiants.com.
Well, what's a skateboard deck?
Well, it's a skateboard without the wheels.
So it's the board.
Yeah, it's the board. The deck.
So it's called a skateboard if the wheels are on it. The whole thing together, but the board itself, if there are no, that's called the deck.
The deck.
Okay.
The skateboard deck. It actually is pretty cool.
Connor Jackson right over the outside corner. Quickly 0-2 to Connor, who has flied to shallow center and grounded out to short. Dodgers lead the Rockies 5-4. Last of the 8th in Denver on the out-of-town scoreboard. Manny Ramirez and Matt Kemp with home runs for LA. Very high, 1-2. They were down 4-0 in that game to Jeff Francis, the Rockies left-hander. Remember when they went to the series in 07? He was their top winner. He won 17 games that year. He's been hurt most of the time ever since, and he's just back, and he's pitching well. But the Dodgers came from behind after an early deficit. And Matt Cain, one of his strongest innings of the night. 6 strikeouts, 6 shutout innings. Complete Giants coverage on Sportsnet Central every night at 10:30. Comcast Sportsnet, authentic Bay Area sports.
Yeah, we were watching the Kiss Cam. One of the great things here at this ballpark. The 6th inning interlude. Kiss Cam.
Our producer Jeff Kuiper kept saying, "Go guys," and we were a little wrapped up in the Kiss Cam. Sorry, Jeff. Yeah, 1 ball and no strikes. The count to Benji Molina.
Kiss Cam, that's pretty easy to get wrapped up in.
It's like a mini romantic novel in the middle of the 6th inning. 1 ball, no strikes. And Benji a little late, and whatever he's doing right now, it's coming up wrong for Benji. He's grounded out and struck out in this game. A great low ball hitter, and Jackson's throwing low pitches right by him tonight. In the air to right, a lazy fly ball. Upton. 1 away, and now Rowan will come up. 3 runs, 4 hits for the Giants. No runs, 1 hit for Arizona. Matt Cain, another sterling performance. Thrown 76 pitches in 6 innings. Has 6 strikeouts, no walks, only 1 hit allowed.
And only 1-3 ball count. That's how dominant he has been.
That's coming off that strong outing in Oakland last Saturday, where he gave up 1 run that was an unearned run and lost the game 1-0. Wow.
Good pitch.
Like it was right over on the inside, but called the ball a slider.
Well, with Hickox, I think you get more low fastballs than you do low breaking balls. That's too low.
So if it bounces in front of the plate, too low?
Well, unless he catches it in the strike zone, I think that should be legalized. Bring kind of a cricket thing. Let you do like 2 pitches like that a game or something. I think that'd be a new element.
Yeah. Giants have Pablo might agree with that.
He can hit it. He has hit it.
2-1 now to Aaron Rowan, who has flied out to right center and struck out in this game. Cricket, the pitcher is called a bowler, and he throws the ball on a bounce. The hitter, who is called a batsman, if he decides to swing at it, hits it on the bounce. That's the nature of the game. And that's low and inside. And if you've got a bowler who has a trick pitch that has a lot of curve after it bounces, that's a googly.
A googly.
Yeah.
A googly.
Yeah, it's tough if you face a guy who's got a good googly. 3-1 the count to Rowan. Ooh, that slider got the call on the inside. A 3-1 count, throw him a slider. 3-2. Rowan may well be saying to himself, doesn't he know I'm hitting 233?
I need that walk.
Stephen Drew. And Rowan is 0 for 3. 2 down here in the 6th.
Time now for our scenic shot of the game, brought to you by Fry's. Your best buys are always at Fry's, guaranteed. 24 palm trees out there surrounding the statue of Willie Mays. Great place to stop by, come into the ballpark, and take a picture with your group by the great Willie Howard Mays.
And that statue depicts him in the follow-through of his swing, perhaps hitting one of his 660 home runs, the first of which he hit today, 59 years ago. Today, the anniversary. Willie Mays' first hit as a major leaguer. It was his 13th at bat. Came up and immediately went 0 for 12. Then he was facing one of the great pitchers in the game, Warren Spahn, and it was against Spahn that he hit not only a home run, but a tape measure homer off the rooftop at the Polo Grounds. Nate Sherholtz is thrown out by Johnson. Giants go down in order. Down to the 7th inning. Drew, Upton, and LaRoche coming up.
4:30 a.m.
Just when I'm getting up.
I'm impressed.
Just when I'm getting up and saying, wait a minute, it's only 4:30, and then I go right back to sleep.
That's exactly right. Have my drink of water, and I hit the sack again.
We work nights, generally, in this business. There's ball one from Matt Cain. The big hitters are coming up here for the D-backs. Stephen Drew, the third place hitter. Then cleanup man Justin Upton and Adam LaRoche. And a high fly ball into shallow center. Aaron Rowan. So Drew is 0 for 3. None of the first 5 hitters, 1 through 5 in the Arizona batting order, not one of those 5 has been on base yet. The 5 of them are a combined 0 for 13 against Matt Cain.
Now, he's really had a great command of everything he throws, all 4 pitches. But I think the pitch that really has been his best pitch tonight has been the fastball. He's been able to spot it, and that has been what the Giants have been looking for in regards to Matt Cain. You want consistency from Cain. He has to have command of the fastball. And tonight he really has. He's had it really the last several starts where he's locked in and has been able to go in and out, up and down. And up and down is a big part of his game because he pitches so well above the letters.
Ooh, a little slide piece right there. Strike 2. I think that's a good point, though. We've seen him at times where that fastball is, he tries to get it inside, it goes outside. He tries to get it inside, and it goes out over the plate, or it's just not always going where he wants it to go. The slider, that's a swing. Strike 3. So Justin Upton is gone just like that. Second time he has struck out.
And he can't believe it. Let's take a look. Did he swing? Perfect pitch, 0-2. You're trying to bounce it at home plate. And Ed Hickok says, oh, yeah. You swung and your history. Grab some pie and meat, and that was it. Send him back.
Adam LaRoche. Wow. I just can't believe that. Curveball right in there. Called the ball.
Well, I think the same thought's going right through the mind of Matt Cain right now. But you got to wash it clean and get on the next pitch.
And he does, right on the outside. Beautifully placed. Almost an illustration of your point about his night.
The fastball location can really neutralize a 1-0 count, 2-0 count. It's got to be perfect, and that last pitch was.
LaRoche has hit back to the pitcher and struck out. And that curveball is yanked foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Patty Kowalski, our ball babe tonight.
Kowalski, just whatever happens, just do not lose that helmet.
Oh, yeah.
That's team issued. The main thing is go get the ball, but do not lose that helmet. Do not let it come off.
She's been waiting for this all night. Oh, she's got somebody.
Patty lives with her husband, Steve, in Point Richmond. High pop-up. Molina. And no, the wind blows it back. He needed some help on that one, but Sandoval was at shortstop when that pitch was thrown. And he never quite got in the picture. Had he been at third base, he could have, but he was at shortstop.
This is rare. I mean, he's one of the best guys at catching a pop-up I've ever seen. But here is where you start to get drift and you start to do the pop-up dance, and you really need help. But Benji Molina, I mean, this is so infrequent that he will misjudge or miss a pop-up.
No matter. Matt Cain. Is it to say to Benji? No matter Benji, I'll handle it.
Got you covered.
grilled pineapple and teriyaki sauce. New at Carl's Jr. 3 runs, 4 hits for the Giants, and 1 error. An error was charged to Benji Molina on that foul pop. No runs, 1 hit for Arizona against Matt Cain, who has 8 strikeouts in his 7 shutout innings with the 1 hit allowed.
Did you say that Benji Molina was given an error on that pop-up?
That's the word from the press box as Matt Cain takes a called strike from Edwin Jackson.
Well, Dave Feldman, the official scorer in tonight's ballgame, that's a horrible call. Horrible call.
Strike 2 now to Matt Cain. And he got the low strike on the fastball. Cain, who earlier had a walk and scored a run, but now is 0 for 2.
I mean, you have to consider the elements when you're going to start throwing errors around. And that's just a bad call. And it's almost like Dave Feldman's on a mission to put errors on the Giants' column because they lead the National League in fewest errors. And he's done it the last 3 days. And this one's a joke. Wake up.
Here now is Andres Torres. And there's ball 1. Well, generally speaking, if a guy loses one that was because of the wind, or a guy loses one in the lights or the sun, things like that, then that takes it out of the realm of ordinary effort. Two 2-0 the count to Andres Torres, who has doubled, flied out, and hit into a force play, and has scored 2 runs for the Giants. After he hit into that force play in the 5th inning, he stole second, and a little while later scored on a base hit by Pablo Sandoval. 3-0 Giants. Single runs in the 1st, 3rd, and 5th innings. Now we're in the 7th. So far they've had a trend of scoring in every other inning of the game, and now there's Torres on base. Torres in the mode of a true leadoff man because he has that speed. A guy who can get on base and is a threat to steal a bag. The D-backs have not defended well against the stolen base. They did not in the 5th inning. As Mel Stottlemyre Jr. goes out to the mound, the Arizona pitching coach, to chat with Jackson. Jackson did not do a very good job of holding Torres close back in the 5th inning.
Well, I think that's definitely going to be something that Stottlemyre talks to Jackson about. I mean, he's out there right now to give Vasquez a little time to get loose, but the last time with 2 outs and Torres on base, he stole second base so easily that, that is something that's going to get talked about when that inning was over. Not only from Mel Stottlemyre Jr., the pitching coach, but from the skipper, A.J. Hinch, as well. The last time he came set, went into his motion, had a high leg kick. He was 1.4 plus. Way slow. And I would assume here he's going to get much more of an abbreviated version of his motion to home.
And Torres is back. Torres now with 7 steals in 9 tries this year. LaRoche on the bag with him. Freddie Sanchez, an RBI single, a double, and a walk in this game. Yesterday, 2 singles and 2 walks. And he's on a little bit of a mini roll at the moment. After coming back from the disabled list and struggling for a while. He seems to have found himself these last 2 days. 1 ball and no strikes.
That was the abbreviated version, 1.08 unload time for Jackson. Now, you can see that he's not really that comfortable out of it, but you have to fight yourself. Because most pitchers do not want to concede that. They want to stay with the high leg kick. They feel that they get gathered. They get more back leg into a pitch, more stuff. And that when they go to an abbreviated slide step, they lose stuff. But you have to get over that. It's so incredibly important these days when you have the running game that is totally, you can keep it in check if you develop that slide step motion.
And Torres dives safely back.
And this is what you do. I mean, there's not many base stealers But I've ever liked it when guys throw over 4 or 5 times, or come set and hold a guy in his squat as he's getting ready to lead.
Meanwhile, he has fallen behind in the count to Freddie Sanchez. 2 balls, no strikes.
Now he knows he has to make a pitch here, and you might see him be a little more deliberate with his unload time.
Pablo Sandoval on deck.
He clearly has not mastered the slide step.
There he goes. Torres, and the ball is into center field, and Torres didn't know where it was, and he's not going to be able to get back. He still doesn't know what's going on. So that is a double play, and the inning is over. On to the 8th inning. Mark Reynolds coming up. The center.
Kelly Johnson, the second baseman, was deaconed as if he was going to give a little shovel toss over to Stephen Drew. But Andres Torres never knew where the ball was, and when he got into no man's land, he's looking for help. And he looked at Kelly Johnson, and he wound up looking over Roberto Kelly, and there was no Kellys helping him.
One strike to count to Mark Reynolds. Matt Cain back to work here in the 8th inning. Reynolds has the only hit for Arizona. That fastball is strike 2. Reynolds has hit a double to deep right center, and he has been hit by a pitch. But he's quickly behind here. 0-2. The rest of his team hitless. 0 for 21. Nobody else has even reached base. And the curve in the dirt. Cain 8 strikeouts, no walks. He hit Reynolds in the 5th. So just 2 base runners for the D-backs, both of them Mark Reynolds. Dodgers have beaten Colorado. That game is over in Denver. Wow. Just a bit outside.
You could tell the frustration from Benjamin Molina. The way he took the ball out of his glove and kind of flipped it into his bare hand. Not happy, eh? Umpires take notice of that.
No matter again. Anything that's gone against Cain tonight, he's rectified almost immediately.
Yeah, he just comes right back and goes same pitch, outside location, and a swing through. See ya. Boy, he's driving right through his target. It's just almost like he's got a string that he's just laying out to his target. Number of times that he's gone between the knees of the catcher tonight, it just has been almost every fastball.
Chris Young 0 for 2. 1 ball, no strikes. Young has grounded out to second and flied out deep to left. Giants ahead 3-0 here in the 8th inning. First place Padres trailing the Washington Nationals meanwhile. That's right on the outside for a strike. Nats 4, Pods 2, top of the ninth at Petco Park. Josh Willingham, Ian Desmond, home runs for the Nationals. Pop up, foul, and this one will reach back into the crowd.
You get a guy tonight, like tonight, watching Matt Cain with his fastball at command. I mean, these are the nights that really excite catchers. It's a joy to catch a pitcher who has that type of command with a fastball. And, you know, we're talking about the number of pitches he's made tonight between the knees of Molina. It's just, it's almost like you're in the back there, you're sitting in a rocking chair catching a big league pitcher. And that's the feeling you have when the guy has this type of command.
That curve is popped up, foul again. And again back into the crowd on the first base side. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
9 strikeouts for Cain tonight, and that's a season high. And the other thing, too, is when you get into a groove like he's in right now, you don't take anything out of your arm. He'll wake up tomorrow morning and he'll feel like he could pitch again.
Popped up. And Freddie Sanchez will take charge. Out number 2. The last time the Diamondbacks had a base runner was the 5th inning when Reynolds got hit by a pitch. Cain has retired 10 in a row since then.
Just one time a high pitch count. That was 19 in the first. And after that, you talk about steady distribution, and he's sitting on 96 pitch total. And I mean, the way he's throwing tonight, he could go 130, 140 pitches. And I'm not exaggerating.
Gerardo Parra to the plate now as a pinch hitter for John Hester, the catcher. So now Parra, left-handed batter, to pinch hit for him with the pitcher's spot due up next. Parra hitting .250. Fastball, a strike.
He's in, out, knee high, belt high, chest high. Just has been able to do everything he's wanted. He probably could have pitched this game tonight with the fastball by itself. Reminiscent of some of the games that Kurt Schilling used to throw, who I thought was one of the best fastball pitchers I'd ever seen. He could just get you out with just the fastball. You have that sense tonight watching Cain.
Along the left field line, Torres chasing after it, but it's into the crowd. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Tom Seaver was that way early in his career. I mean, he could just get you out with a fastball, tell you it's coming. Just by where he could put location and change movement with different grips. Beautiful thing to watch.
1-2 the count. There is Rowan. And that is 8 in the books for Matt Cain. 8 one-hit shutout innings.
time. Monday should be a classic battle. Memorial Day, 1 o'clock start time. Jimenez against Tim Lincecum. Gentlemen, back up to you.
Well, that should be fun. And Lincecum, who's been really battling himself here of late, trying to get himself back together with his mechanics. They have not been there. His pitches have not been going where he wants them to go. As Chad Qualls takes over for the Diamondbacks, ordinarily the closer for the D-backs. He comes on in relief of Edwin Jackson, who went 7 innings, gave up 3 runs and 4 hits. He walked 5, struck out 6 through 3 wild pitches. Chris Snyder in the catch. Snyder will be listed in the 8th spot. Qualls in the 9th spot, due to lead off in the 9th inning. Pablo Sandoval has knocked in 2 runs for the Giants in this game. That ball is hammered deep into center field. That one is way back there. That ball is a home run. Pablo Sandoval over the center field wall on the first pitch thrown by Qualls. 4-0 Giants.
And hitting a fly ball off Qualls in general, not that easy to do, let alone knock it out of the ballpark. He does not give up a lot of home runs. And we talked about Pablo Sandoval starting to get the snap through the ball and the bat speed that we know him for. He's getting it back. And here he takes a sinker that doesn't sink, and he rides it right out of here to the deepest part of center field. And a look at our splash cam, the signature camera of this ballpark. That is a thing of beauty.
4th home run for Sandoval. That's a 3 RBI game for Pablo. Aubrey Huff over the top of that slider. Huff has walked, struck out, and walked again. Well, Sandoval here near the end of May, what has been his worst month as a big leaguer, has had a very fine night. A single, a homer, a sacrifice fly. Check swing, fastball to strike, and it's 0-2 to Aubrey Huff. Meanwhile, the Nationals have scored a run in the 9th inning, and they lead 5-2 over the Padres. That game's still in the top of the 9th, down there. And he got him to chase that slider in the dirt, and he got a piece of it. Foul tip. And Sandoval talking it over with hitting instructor Hensley Mullins.
Yeah, Hensley saying, yep, that's how I used to hit him, Pablo. Mullins did have some pretty good power when he was a player.
His nickname was Bam Bam. That was raked off the glove of the slick fielding Adam LaRoche. And that ball, it's like a streak of lightning when it hit the glove.
Now we're going to go back and take a look at Pablo Sandoval with home run number 4 in the season. And it's going to be our hit of the game, brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Visit CacheCreek.com for upcoming events. One more look at the Panda going yard El Centro. Adios pelota, as my partner John Miller would say.
Un cuadrangular para El Panda. There is a strike at the knees to Uribe. Also in Spanish, a word for home run is jonron.
Jonron.
Jonron. Off the outside. And Uribe, for one, I think is relieved to see Edwin Jackson out of the game. He had a tough night against Jackson. Hit into a double play, grounded out to third, and then with the bases loaded in the 5th inning and 2 down, he struck out. A ball and a strike. That ball is hit well to right field. Upton back, twists around, jumps and can't get it. The carom towards center field. Young picks it up. Huff to third. He'll be stopped there. And it's too bad because an airmail throw from Chris Young that sailed over 2 different relay men. But with nobody out, taking no chances, is third base coach Tim Flannery.
Well, the fastball from Qualls is going to come back to a right-hander. And this one just lays right out there in the outside corner. And Juan Uribe lets the Diamondbacks know that he's got some pretty good pop opposite field. With nobody out, Tim Flannery playing it very conservatively and not waving Aubrey Huff in. Huff really was stranded. He could not gamble because he was thinking that Justin Upton was going to catch that ball.
The infield comes in with nobody out. Runners at second and third. Benji Molina at the plate. And a foul down the right field line. Benji's last RBI was May the 5th. And the Giants were in Florida. So Benji got as fine an opportunity to get an RBI or two right here as you'll ever get. But he's only had 2 hits in his last 29 at bats. 0 for 3 tonight. A ground out to third, a strikeout, and a fly ball to right. A ball and a strike. Benji Molina against Chad Qualls. Qualls, who has struggled big time, as have most of the Arizona relievers this year. He came into the game with a 6.32 ERA, 15 2/3 innings pitched, 24 hits allowed. That was before tonight. And no RBI here for Benji either. So Huff holding at third and Uribe at second with the infield drawn in. And so it goes for Benji right now. No relief in sight for Benji.
And that's a guy that hits pretty well. Benji Molina against Qualls lifetime 4 for 6 with a double and a home run. You know he sees him well. But when you're struggling and your swing's not something you have control of, nobody's easy to hit.
Now Aaron Rowan, who is in a similar kind of a funk with Molina. And it's 0-1.
Well, that's the way it is around every clubhouse. I mean, some guys are going to have great months. Some guys are not going to have great months. And the guys who don't have the great months, they're counting the days to the next month. And then this is the 28th of May. I'm sure that when May passes into history, Molina, Sandoval, and Rowan are going to be pretty excited about it.
Well, he'll get an RBI on this one, maybe more. But Young gets back near the warning track to take it. Aubrey Huff on the tag up. He will score. And that's the first RBI in a long while for Aaron Rowan. 4-0. Make that 5-0 Giants. His second run of the evening.
Now that's a nice at bat considering the guy out there on the mound. And Qualls has got an inflated ERA, but of late he's been throwing pretty well. When he pitches, you really expect to see ground balls, and it's not an easy guy to get elevated and get that sac fly in a third less than 2-out situation. That's a good at bat.
Uribe moving to third. And now they're going to walk Sherholtz intentionally with the pitcher, Matt Cain, coming up. The Arizona bullpen is busy with Valdez, a right-hander, getting loose. Cesar Valdez as the pitch count for Qualls. They might want to use him tomorrow night in a save situation, and A.J. Hinch keeping that in mind here. He just wanted to get Qualls a little work in. He hadn't worked in a while. Doesn't want to have that pitch count get too elevated. So this will be the fourth wide one to Sherholtz, who is 0 for 3. The Giants have runners at first and third. And Matt Cain coming up. And a nice ovation for Cain, who has pitched 8 shutout innings, allowing only 1 hit. 9 strikeouts. And it's 0-1. But the only thing he hasn't done tonight is drive in a run. He scored a run back in the third. He drew a leadoff walk against Jackson and eventually scored. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Diamondbacks will have the pitcher spot. So they'll be sending a pinch hitter up there to lead off the 9th inning. And then the top of the order, Kelly Johnson and Connor Jackson against Kane, who's thrown 100 pitches in 8 innings. And on the right field line and foul.
Over there by Patty Kowalski, our ball babe tonight. Patty, make a play. Come on, I was counting on you.
So her husband also does some ball duding.
Oh, yeah. Her husband, Steve. He's having a little surgery right now, so Patty is she's substituting for Steve. And we miss Steve.
Matt Cain will head back to the hill with a 5-run lead. Pablo Sandoval launching a leadoff homer here in the 8th. It is 5-0 Giants.
Five nothing Giants as we head to the top of the 9th inning. And there you see the numbers. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the D-backs. 5 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Giants. And Matt Cain going to start things off here and try and close it out. 100 pitches through 8 innings. He only hit a double by Mark Reynolds back in the 2nd inning.
Rusty Ryle is the pinch hitter for Chad Qualls. A little bit high, ball 1. And then the top of the order, Kelly Johnson, a left-handed hitter, and then Connor Jackson due up 3rd in the inning.
Ryle probably in a strikeout or take a strike mode. I like that.
Five runs, 7 hits for the Giants. No runs, 1 hit for the D-backs. And that curveball is popped up, but heading back and into the crowd behind the dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Meanwhile, the San Diego Padres trailing 5-2 to the Nationals. Last of the 9th inning, Matt Capps, the Nationals closer, leading the league in saves, but he's fallen into an immediate jam. A run is in. They had the bases loaded, nobody out. It's 5-3. The Padres are just a base hit away from tying that game. The Giants lead here 5-0. Foul ball.
Yeah, base hitter, 2 sac flies ties that ball game. But here it's all Matt Cain, who has been in total command, and I mean from the very first pitch of this ball game. Cain at times this year, you know, he hadn't found his rhythm until he got to the 30th or 40th pitch level. Not tonight. First pitch he threw, he was on top of it. Had great command of the fastball.
The fastball is popped up foul, and Molina over, but this too will go back out of play. Cain began the inning having thrown 100 pitches. So he's averaged 12.5 pitches per inning in this one. Dodgers, you can see in the out-of-town scoreboard, beat Colorado. Padres trailing Washington in the last of the ninth. Just got a piece of that curveball. Ryle is hitting .333 in 36 at bats, and he has been the pinch hitter deluxe for the D-backs. He's had 22 pinch hit at bats, hitting .273. 1-2. That curve on into a deep right center. Sherholtz. Ball's carrying well in that direction tonight. Sherholtz started to ease back and then realized he better get going.
It's the most carry we've seen to right field. And usually when that happens, there's no wind. And if you check the flags above the Levi landing, there is no wind. This is the only time in this ballpark will play small is when the wind does not blow. And when you get carried to right center, it means one thing. The flags are still.
So one down, and here is Kelly Johnson, the leadoff man, 0 for 3. 1 ball and no strikes. He's grounded out to second. Sanchez made a nice play to start the game. He's lined out to left and flied out to left center. 2-0. Cain has only gone as far as a 3-ball count one time through the first 27 hitters he's faced. And this is one of the very rare 2-0 counts he's had. Dave Righetti, Giants pitching coach, longtime major league pitcher. Right in there for a called strike.
Yeah, he's got to be thrilled with what he's seen tonight from Matt Cain. This is as dominant a game as we've seen pitched.
Off the inside, 3-1. Second time that he's gone as far as a 3-ball count.
Now, he doesn't want to have anybody in that bullpen get up. And if he walks a hitter, he's probably going to see some activity in that pin.
That is a foul ball. Aubrey Huff over to pick it up right next to Matt Williams, the first base coach for Arizona. It's a full count now. Three and 2 to Kelly Johnson. Matt Cain to work. And there is Sanchez. Nice play. 2 down.
Well, I tell you right now with Freddie Sanchez, anything on the right side of the infield, you're thinking he's going to get to it. He sees cheating over just a little bit to the hole, and it pays off here. He didn't have a lot of time. That ball was hit well by Kelly Johnson. A little bit of a preset away from straightaway position. He takes it about 3 steps away, and he gets to it easily and gets the out. That was not an easy play.
2 down. Everybody standing. Here is Connor Jackson. It's 0-1. 31,495. The paid crowd tonight here at AT&T Park. Matt Cain, who has pitched well and lost 3 times running tonight. They got him a little bit of support, but much more than he has needed. He's got a 1-hit shutout going. 2 down in the 9th. The curveball. Strike 2 call. Jackson has gone 0 for 3. The outfield backed up straight away. Back out of play on that high fastball. Came right after him. 0-2 the count.
Perfect pitch. That's the elevator fastball right across the letters that he is known for. It's a great moment for a pitcher when you get 1 strike away from a shutout. You get the whole house standing into it. It's a feeling you never forget.
The curve. Now that didn't miss by that much on the inside, although Jackson was throwing his arms in the air and backing off. 1-2.
See, the boys are digging this.
Sanchez, Zito, Wilson. 1-2. Fastball pulled foul. Third base coach Bo Porter jumped out of the way.
Wisely.
Mark DeRosa, Jeremy Affett also down there in the front row. And he takes that slider. Two and two. And that is fouled out of play.
Connor Jackson putting up a battle. Like Dusty Baker used to say, dying hard.
Two down, ninth inning. 2-2 the count. And 3-2. This is the first real high-stress inning he's had. He had a 19-pitch first inning. Nothing close to that since, but he's thrown 21 here in the ninth. 3-2 the count. Right to Sanchez. A one-hit shutout for Matt Cain. Matt Cain's third career shutout. And that snaps his personal losing streak. And he was never better. 5-0 Giants. Matt Cain shuts out, shuts down the powerful Diamondbacks.